welcome back. In this video, we will get the ball reinstantiating, and we're getting pretty close to the end. We might need one more video just to clean up a few things. So this will be a little bit more technical because we're going to have to do something called a coroutine, just to give it a little bit of a pause here. So that will teach you how to do that, sort of create a pause within the game. And also we got to do a little bit of if the player's won versus if the computer's won, what's going on there? Like we got to run sort of the function slightly differently. So let's take a look at what we can do here. So I'm going to go back and I am going to go to the GameManager again. And we're going to look at what's going on here. So let's say that we added to the player score. Okay, so we're going to do something first. So let's just say we're going to update the score. And what we're going to first see is if they've won. Now, we haven't decided this yet. Oops. So if the player score, and let's just put a number that's low for testing at the moment. Let's say if it's 2, then we're going to have to run a function. And we haven't created this function yet. So I'm going to call it endgame. And what we'll do is, because like I said, this doesn't exist, we will just generate this method for the moment. So I'm just going to click on that. And it's here. Not really happy with its spot because I think I'm going to control X here. So control X cuts it. And I'm just going to paste it right at the end because I think it works better at the end when it's the end game. So basically this is saying it's not working yet, so that's fine. But at least we don't have an error here. Okay, so if we get a score, let's say it's over 2, right, then the game is over. Okay, now it's pretty low. You might want to change that after, but that'll be good for playtesting. Now, if not, right, if that's not the case, what do we want to do? Well, we are going to basically restart the game. But the trick is we want to give it a little pause. If we don't, then it starts like right away, and it's pretty disconcerting that you just get the point and then all of a sudden, I mean, you don't have time to, celebrate and do your little dance. So then right away, it becomes, it restarts again. So what I want to do here is what's going to be called a coroutine. And so a coroutine lets you do these pausing. So I'm going to call something like wait to reinstantiate. So I'm going to do that. Now, don't worry here for a minute. I'm going to put false. Well, actually, what I'm going to do, I just sort of change this player. I think that will make more sense. Now, we do have an error here. Don't worry about that. Let us copy this little bit. Control C. So I'm just copying this, and I'm going to come down to the exact same place. Instead of add player score, I'm going to go into add computer score, and I'm going to paste it right in there. And the only thing I'm going to do differently is put this as computer score. Okay. So the same thing. I mean, if it gets to 2, it's going to end the game, and we'll deal with that in a minute. And then else, we're going to start this coroutine, and like I said, this is going to have a bit of a pause in it, and then we're going to reinstantiate. And this time, not the player, but we'll put this as computer. Okay, so we've got this. Now what we have to do is create this coroutine called reinstantiate. And again, I think it's going to be really nice to me. Generate method. We can't do that one. No, it won't, unfortunately, do it automatically as a coroutine. Too bad. Okay, so what we'll have to do is come down. I'm going to come down below my computer score update, but above my end game. And this one's a little bit different. So I'm going to just do private IE numerator. So this one right here, IE numerator. And I'm going to press enter. Okay. And we call it, like I said, wait to reinstantiate. Okay, and we're going to put this in here, a string, and the string will be, I guess, I'll just call it winner. Okay, and we'll do this. There we go, wait to reinstantiate. Just trying to figure out why it's doing that red. Okay, it's just because we haven't finished it, that's all. So what we're going to do here is we're going to pause it for a second. Now yield, return, new, wait 4 seconds, and 1. So don't worry about this too much, but this is just a command to get it to pause. And then what we're going to do is if the winner is equal to player. So if it is the player, and I put that in parentheses. Sometimes I forget. So if the winner is player, what we're going to do is we're going to create a new ball. And I forgot to create the variable for this above. We'll do that in a second. So we're going to instantiate a, so the question is, what are you going to instantiate? We're going to instantiate a ball. And this is going to give us a problem too. We'll get that new vector 3. And now we need to give it a position. And we're going to give it, sorry, I just noticed this put in ball movement here because we haven't put in ball yet. So this is going to be ball here. We need to put in a position for where the player is going to relaunch it from. Now, this might be something that we want to change after, but we'll go with what we've got here. So the ball, I mean our let's get here. So let me just click on the ball. And I'm just going to move it over here. So roughly, so we'll put it at 0 and minus 10 is probably pretty good. That would be good to reinstantiate. So if the player wins, the player gets to launch the ball, basically, right? Was that right? No. I guess we should do the opposite, right? So if the player wins, then it should be launched from the computer. So we'll basically do it at positive 10.2. We've got to sort of think this through. So what we're going to do, if the winner is ball, we're going to reinstantiate it, and this is going to be at 10.2 and 0 and whoops and 0. And then we also have to put in this, what they call quaternion. Whoops, I got to put an F there. There we go. And we'll do this quaternion dot identity. This is the rotation, so don't worry too much. Again, you'll get more used to this as we go. But basically what it's going to do, it's going to instantiate a new ball, create a new ball, and what it is going to be the ball. Now, I haven't actually put this in, so that's why we're getting errors. I'm going to go up to the top here and just fix that up. So let's put that in. We'll put that in right here. So two things that we're going to do. We'll make this public so we can actually change it. It'll be a game object, and we'll just call that the ball. And then, and I think, did I call that with a capital B? Sorry. Let's make that a small b. Should be a small b there. Okay, so that fixes that error. And then new ball is going to be the ball basically that we're putting into the game. So we'll just make that game object and new ball. There we go. Okay, so that should handle these two issues. So good. Okay, so we're going to instantiate the ball. So we're going to wait for a second. Then we're going to instantiate the ball from the player's score or player's area. Sorry, I guess the computer's area, and then we're going to launch it. And we're actually going to create a little relaunch code as well. Okay, and so that there, and we have to be able to, I haven't created this on the ball yet, but what we'll do right here is we'll, on the new ball, we will get component, and we will grab its ball movement script, and on that script we will run this relaunch function, which we haven't done, and we'll set that we're going to relaunch it. Might as well put a string in here, so we'll relaunch it sort of from the computer. Okay. Now we're getting an error because that doesn't exist yet. Okay, and that's fine. So let us also do this. So if it's player, it will do this. If it is the computer who won the point, I'm going to control this. And I know this gets a little bit confusing. So if the winner is computer, then we're going to launch it from negative 10.2, and we're going to relaunch it with saying that from the player's perspective. Right? Yes. Okay. So that should be pretty good there. Like I said, relaunch is our problem at the moment. Let's just see. We've got 10. Let's see if we can get that in. So I'm just going to go to the ball movement one and create the relaunch. So let's go over to ball movement. I'm going to come down right to the bottom here. So I'm in the ball movement script. So I'm going to make this public, void, relaunch, and we'll do a string as well. And let's call this one, I guess, the launcher or something. Okay, that's just to say who's doing the relaunch. Good. And so we've got here the launcher is equal to, we'll do the player first. Then we've got to get it going one way. So what we're going to do is grab the velocity. So RB2D dot velocity. So we want it going to the right. So I think we can just do it this way. So RB2D velocity is equal to, yeah, that should be we're going to multiply it all by the speed. So I'm going to just put this all in a bracket. So vector 3, and I'll explain this in the next video. Normalize RB, oh gosh. Sorry, I'm trying to get it done before my time runs out here. Normalize and RB2D dot velocity, and then times the speed. Okay, and we'll do the same thing. We're missing, okay, so it's automatically put, there we go, okay. Perfect, okay, and then let us just copy this, speed us up a little bit. If, we could have done an else here, but if it's the computer, we will do the same thing, except we will get it going in the opposite direction. So what I'm going to do is times it by -1 times speed, and therefore it's in the opposite direction. Okay, let's save that up and hope that we are okay there. Good. Now, I think we won't have quite enough time to sort of test this out, but just make sure you've got the relaunch code, okay, in there. So this one, and then also on that GameManager, right? We did quite a bit here. Make sure that you've got things for the object for the ball and this new ball. So we put that script in, and then make sure you've got these sort of the starting, if it ends the game, and the start coroutine on both the add player score and on the add computer score, basically the same script. And then also make sure, right, that you've got this IE numerator, this wait to reinstantiate, and the end game there as well. So I know it's quite a bit there, and we'll definitely discuss it more in class, but hopefully you can get that in, and we'll see how it works in the next video.